Hello and welcome everybody to my channel Omni Bio Entrance, and today I will be dealing with the Telangana State CPGET MSc Integrated Biotechnology 5-year program conducted in the year 2023. The entrance exam for this Integrated Biotechnology was conducted in the year 2023, and I have divided this into two parts. This is the second part of the discussion. Coming to the first question. In worker honeybees, pollen brushes and pollen baskets are present on. So these are structural arrangements that are used by bees to collect pollen. So they are present in tarsi of legs and tibia of metathoracic legs. Answer is option 3. Then, in the light reaction, plastoquinone facilitate the transfer of electron from pigment system 2 to cytochrome B6F complex. Answer is option 3. The products of reaction catalyzed by nitrogenase in a root nodule of leguminous plants are. So nitrogenase, it is an enzyme responsible for the reduction of nitrogen to ammonia, and the product of the reaction catalyzed by nitrogenase in the root nodule of leguminous plants are ammonia and hydrogen. So the answer here is option 2. Choose the correct statement regarding ascaris. So first statement is wrong, that is hatching of embryo take place within 10 hours is wrong. Development and molting take place in the alveoli of lungs, that is correct. Answer is option. Then external fertilization occurs in majority of. So fertilization that happens outside the body is called as external fertilization, and it requires water body for successful fertilization. So it occurs in majority of algae. Algae are usually found in water. So answer is option 1. Then next one. Oxygenation activity of Rubisco enzyme in photorespiration lead to formation of. So oxygenation of Rubisco enzyme during photorespiration, it lead to the formation of one molecule of 3 carbon compound phosphoglycerate and one molecule of 2 carbon compound phosphoglycolate. So the answer here is option 2, one molecule of 3 carbon compound and 2 carbon compound. Which of the following statement related to protein synthesis are true? Transmitted hnRNA and mRNA of genes are similar in size. So heterogeneous nuclear RNA, it is called as precursor mRNA, and it is an immature single-stranded RNA, and it has introns, and once introns are removed, you get mature mRNA. So hnRNA and mRNA cannot be similar in size because hnRNA has got introns, whereas mRNAs do not have introns. So first statement is not correct. Then the CCA of the tRNA act as amino acid binding site, that is correct. FMET tRNA bind to the P site in ribosome, that's also correct. The protein factor RF3 help in recognizing the termination codon. RF1 and RF2, they recognize the stop codon, and RF3, it helps in the release of RF1 and RF2 from the ribosome, so they can be recycled to produce another protein. So fourth statement is also not correct. So the answer here is option 2, that is 2 and 3. Then next one. Match the following correctly. Viroid infecting tomato plant. That is 2 molecules of RNA. TMB. TMB is 6500 nucleotides long. Poliovirus is a many-sided, and lentivirus is 2 molecules of RNA. So the answer here is option 1, that is A2, B1, C4 and D3. E. coli, in which both strands of DNA are labeled with N15, is transferred to N14 medium and allowed to replicate for 3 generations. Find out the number of hybrid DNA molecules in the third generation. This I have done in the next slide. So here E. coli, which is N15, is transferred to N14 medium and is allowed to replicate for 3 generations. Now we have to see hybrid DNA. Hybrid DNA is N14, N15 together in one DNA molecule. So this is the answer. So this is N15, N15 E. coli DNA. Now it is getting replicated in N14 medium. So one strand will be N15 and the other will be N14. Similarly, one strand will be N15 and other strand will be N14 because DNA follows semi-conservative model of replication. So again, these will replicate in N14 medium for second generation, and these are the various strands or DNA molecules that you get. Now in third generation also they will replicate, but you have to see for number of hybrid DNA molecules in third generation. So it is N15 and 14 here and N15 and 14 here. So only 2 are there. So the answer here is option 2. Then next one. Find out correct pair of statements. In completely plasmolized cell, pressure potential does not contribute to water potential. So due to absence of turgor pressure, the pressure potential in a plasmolized cell is 0. So first one is correct. First statement is correct. Then, if a cell is placed in hypotonic solution for a larger time, the cell membrane shrinks away from the cell wall. If the cell is kept in hypotonic solution, it will absorb water and swell. It does not shrink. Shrinking happens only when it is placed in hypertonic solution. Then next one. So second statement is not correct. Third one. Apoplast system comprises of interconnected protoplast. Apoplastic system occurs when the water cannot enter the protoplast. The water only passes through the cell wall and the intercellular spaces. So it is interconnected protoplast is not correct. Then polypeptides are more imbibing capacity than polysaccharide. Polypeptides are being much more hydrophilic in nature as compared to polysaccharides, and this is the reason why polypeptides imbibe more water when compared to polysaccharides. So fourth statement is correct. So the answer here is 1 and 4 and the option is option 1. Now next one. A taxon belonging to order Sapindales has a single seeded fleshy fruit. So it is monocarpellary with edible mesocarp and stony endocarp. The number of carpels in the flower of this taxon is. So the description in the question, it matches a drupe. It is having edible mesocarp, stony endocarp and exocarp. All these things happens in the case are seen in the case of a drupe, and a drupe develops from monocarpellary ovary. And here they have told that it is single seeded fleshy fruit and only one seed is present in monocarpellary ovary. So the number of carpels in the flower of this taxon is option 3, that is 1. It is monocarpellary. Then how many chromosomes are present in each of the following with respect to maize? So leaf, epidermal cell, antipodal, endosperm, generative cell, egg cell, megaspore, microspore, mother cell. So maize 2n number is 20 or n is equal to 10. So leaf epidermal cell, it is a somatic cell. So it is 2n is 20. So first will be 20. And antipodal cell, embryo sac, it is n. It is found in embryo sac. So it is n. So it is 10. Then endosperm is 3n. So 3 into 10, that is 30. Generative cell again as formed as a result of meiosis. So n is equal to 10. Egg cell again formed as a result of meiosis, so n is equal to 10. Megaspore or the egg is again n and it is 10. And microspore mother cell, it is 2n, so 20. So the answer here is option B, that is 20, 10, 30, 10, 10, 10 and 20. Then next one. The recombination frequency between the gene A and C is 5% and B and C is 15%, B and D is 9%, A and B is 20%, C and D is 24%, A and D is 29%. What is the sequence of these genes on a linear chromosome? So they have given A to C distance is 5%. Like that they have given distance between each of these genes. So the largest distance is between A and D. So A is at one end, D is at the other end, and it is 29%. Next largest is between C and D. So I will put C over here. D is already there. So the largest distance will be 24%. C and D. Next largest is between A and B. So but B and C is 15%. So B should come after C. So here it will be 15% and A and B will be 20%. So A, C, B, D. So the answer here is option 1, that is A, C, B and D. Then next one. Late wood has fewer xylem elements with narrow vessels. Cambium is less active in winters. Choose the correct option from the options given below. So late wood is known as summer wood and it is formed during the late part of the growing season. It typically has fewer ciliary elements and narrower vessel compared to early wood. Now cambium is less active in winter. So the cambium, it is a layer of actively dividing cells between xylem and phloem, and it is responsible for the formation of new xylem cells. During winters what happens is cambium becomes less active due to the colder temperatures, and this reduced cambial activity lead to the formation of narrower vessels or fewer ciliary elements in late wood. So both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Then what is the function of tassels in corn cob? So they are involved in dispersal of pollen grains. So answer here is option 2, that is to disperse pollen grains. Then next one. Clistogamous flowers are invariably antagamous. Clistogamy is disadvantageous as there is no chance of cross-pollination. So clistogamous flowers, they do not open at all, and in such flowers autogamy occurs. And autogamy, it is a type of cell for pollination where pollination occurs within the same flower. So statement 1 is correct. Then clistogamy is disadvantageous as there is no cross-pollination. So that is correct, because lack of cross-pollination, it is a disadvantage in case of clistogamy. Only self-pollination happens in clistogamy. So answer here is both the statements are correct. So the answer is option 2. Then next one. Which of the following is the correct path for the propagation of cardiac impulse? So SA node or sinoatrial node, it generates impulse. After that it goes to the AV node. From the AV node the impulse goes to the bundle of His, and from there it goes to Purkinje fibers and spreads all over in the ventricle. So the answer here is option 1, SA node, AV node, bundle of His, Purkinje fibers. The cause of cretinism is, so cretinism is a hypothyroidism related condition that causes physical and mental impairment. And shortage of iron in the diet during pregnancy causes cretinism. So the cause of cretinism is hypothyroidism. Answer is option 1. Then identify the wrong statement with reference to immunity. Active immunity is quick and give full response. So, in active immunity, antibodies are created in the host body when it is exposed to antigen, and it is the term And active immunity is a slow process and requires time to fully give a response. So they have asked for the wrong statement. So first statement itself is wrong. Next one, if you see, it is fetus receives some antibody from mother. It is an example of passive immunity. And passive immunity occurs when ready-made antibodies are made available to you. So fetus receiving antibody from mother is an example of passive immunity. So the statement that is wrong here is only first statement. Then which of the following technique the embryos are transferred to as in those females who cannot conceive? So the embryo has to be transferred. Okay. Now what is ICSI? It is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, and in this method single healthy sperm is injected into an ovum, and it is done in the case where the sperm count is very low. Then what is GIFT? GIFT, it stands for gamete intrafallopian transfer. So from the name itself, it is embryo is not getting transferred. So in this technique, washed sperms and two retrieved ova are transferred into the fallopian tube with the help of a laparoscope, and fertilization occurs in fallopian tube in the case of GIFT. So ZIFT is zygote intrafallopian transfer, and in this case the 8 blastomere stage is transferred to the fallopian tube. So here embryo is transferred. So ZIFT is embryos are transferred. Then IUT is intrauterine transfer. In this, embryo is transferred to the uterus in the 32 blastomere stage. So IUT is also embryo are transferred. So third is an ZIFT and IUT. So that is correct. So third is the answer, where embryos are transferred. In other cases, either gametes are transferred. Then next one. Identify the wrong statement with respect to transport of oxygen. Higher hydrogen ion concentration in alveoli favors the formation of oxyhemoglobin. So oxygen can attach to hemoglobin and form oxyhemoglobin. Then the partial pressure of oxygen is important factor in oxygen binding to hemoglobin. And other factors include carbon dioxide partial pressure, hydrogen ion concentration, and temperature. So in alveoli, these parameters which are in their favorable form in the alveoli for the production of oxyhemoglobin is high partial pressure of oxygen, low partial pressure of carbon dioxide, reduced H plus concentration, and lower temperature. So in the first statement they have given higher H plus concentration, whereas it has to be reduced H plus concentration in the alveoli for the formation of oxyhemoglobin. So the first statement itself is wrong. So the answer here is option 1. Then next one. Select the correct match. Sickle cell anemia, autosomal recessive trait, chromosome 11. That is correct. Thalassemia is X-linked. No, thalassemia is autosomal recessive disease. Hemophilia is Y-linked. Hemophilia is X-linked recessive disorder. Phenylketonemia or ketonuria, it is autosomal recessive trait and not autosomal dominant. So first one is the right answer. Then which of the following refers to the correct examples of organisms which have evolved due to changes in environment brought about by anthropogenic action? So what is anthropogenic action? And this involves the activities that are produced or caused by humans in a negative way. These actions can have impact on the evolution of species. like the use of excessive herbicides in the field lead to the plants developing resistance to them. Then constant use of drugs can lead to eukaryotic developing resistance to them. Then artificial breeding of animals and or domestication of dogs, all these are result of human activities, and this is done only for the benefit of humans, that is for increased yield and betterment of human life. So which of the following are examples of organisms which have evolved due to changes in the environment brought about by anthropogenic action is herbicide resistant wheat, drug resistant eukaryotes, man created breeds of domesticated animals like dogs. So the answer here is option 1, that is B, C and D. The next one. In relation to gross primary productivity and net primary productivity of an ecosystem, which of the following statement is correct? The total amount of biomass generated by producers is known as gross primary productivity, and after being used for respiration and lost as heat, net primary productivity is the amount of biomass ingested by producers that can be passed on to the next trophic level. So gross primary productivity and net primary productivity are one and the same is wrong. Then there is no relationship between gross primary productivity and net primary productivity. There is relationship, and productivity is gross primary productivity plus net primary productivity. So 2 is also not correct. Third one, gross primary productivity is always less than net primary productivity. No, gross primary productivity, I already told you, it is the total amount of biomass that is generated by producers. So it is always higher than net primary productivity. And net primary productivity is what? It is after respiration and losing as heat. Net primary productivity is the amount of biomass ingested by producers that can be passed on to the next trophic level. So it is net primary productivity is less than gross primary productivity. Then next one, gross primary productivity is always more than net primary productivity. That is correct. So the answer here is option 4. Then next one, which one of the following is correct statement with reference to Ascaris lumbricoids? Monogenetic. Monogenetic means completes their life cycle in only one individual host, and in case of Ascaris it is humans. Dimorphic is they show sexual dimorphism, that is differences in the form or appearance between male and female, and of the males are shorter in size than the females in case of Ascaris. Next is pseudocoelomate. Pseudocoelomate is body cavity, is the cavity present between body wall and the gut wall, and in some animals the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. This type of body cavity is called pseudocoelom, and the animal possessing it are called pseudocoelomates. Then what is coelozoic? Coelozoic parasite is found in the lumen of the intestine. Ascaris resides and damages the small intestine of the humans. So monogenetic, dimorphic, pseudocoelomate and coelozoic are the correct statement with reference to Ascaris lumbricoids. So the answer here is option 1. So that's it. Thank you for watching my channel. Please do like, share and subscribe. I have uploaded part 1 also. You can refer to my channel playlist for the same.